When people hear the name Kennedy, they think of glamour, tragedy, and political power. But behind the shining facade of America's most famous dynasty, betrayal and scandal lurked in the shadows. Trusted friends, political allies, Hollywood stars, and even the criminal underworld played their parts in a web of lies, ambition, and double-crossing. Today, we reveal 10 rare and shocking betrayals that helped bring down the House of Kennedy and changed history forever. Number 1. Frank Sinatra, from devoted ally to shattered friend. Few outsiders campaigned harder for JFK than Frank Sinatra. The chairman of the board opened Hollywood's gates, throwing his immense influence and personal connections behind Kennedy's 1960 election. He even spent thousands renovating his Palm Springs estate to accommodate a presidential visit, complete with a helipad for JFK's helicopter. But as soon as JFK won, Bobby Kennedy grew alarmed by Sinatra's Mafia ties. Under pressure, JFK canceled his stay at Sinatra's home at the last minute and chose to visit Bing Crosby instead, a devastating humiliation. Sinatra, enraged, smashed windows, destroyed the helipad, and severed all ties with the Kennedys. Their once legendary friendship ended in bitter betrayal, a private heartbreak that contrasted sharply with the public image of Camelot's golden glow. Can loyalty survive when political image matters more than friendship? Number 2. Peter Lofford, selling out the Kennedys for survival. As JFK's brother-in-law and a member of the Rat Pack, Peter Lofford was a vital bridge between Hollywood glamour and Washington power. But after JFK's assassination, Lofford found himself isolated, shunned by the Kennedys and drowning in financial ruin. Desperate to maintain relevance and pay his mounting debts, Lofford sold out the family, leaking private information to tabloid reporters and unauthorized biographers. He is believed to have fed details about JFK's and RFK's affairs with Marilyn Monroe, accelerating the sensationalist frenzy around the Kennedys' private lives. Worse, Lofford's careless behavior deepened the scandal after Monroe's mysterious death in 1962. Once a trusted insider, he became an informant against the very dynasty that had welcomed him into its inner sanctum. Would you betray your own family's secrets if survival demanded it? Number 3. The Mafia's deadly payback and blackmail. The Kennedy Mafia alliance started with promises but ended in brutal betrayal. In 1960, mob bosses like Sam Giancana and Carlos Marcello allegedly helped swing key states for JFK, believing Joseph P. Kennedy Sr.'s assurances that a Kennedy presidency would ease pressure on organized crime. But Bobby Kennedy, appointed Attorney General, launched an unprecedented crackdown, indicting hundreds of Mafia figures. Furious, the mob felt double-crossed. The betrayal deepened when the Mafia weaponized its ties to Judith Campbell Xner, JFK's mistress and Giancana's former lover. Through Xner, mob bosses allegedly threatened to expose Kennedy's affairs and secret communications unless the Justice Department eased its assault. FBI surveillance captured the links between Xner, Giancana, and the White House, revealing a staggering vulnerability at the heart of Camelot. The very criminals who helped create the Kennedy legend ultimately moved to destroy it. Whether through exposure or darker plots, betrayal was inevitable once the blood pact between politics and crime was broken. What happens when you betray the devils who built your throne? Number 4. Judith Campbell Xner, the dangerous messenger between two worlds. Judith Campbell Xner wasn't just another glamorous socialite, she was the link between President Kennedy and organized crime. Introduced by Frank Sinatra, Xner became JFK's mistress while simultaneously maintaining her ties to Mafia boss Sam Giancana. According to her later confessions, she carried private messages between JFK and Giancana during critical moments, potentially tying the president to illicit plots against Fidel Castro. As scandal closed in, Xner claimed she felt abandoned and betrayed by the very men she had risked everything to serve. Her story, long dismissed, would later resurface as a chilling reminder of how personal passions can threaten political empires. Number 5. J. Edgar Hoover, the silent saboteur within. To the public, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover appeared as a loyal government servant. But privately, he despised the Kennedys' wealth, entitlement, and moral duplicity. Hoover amassed thick files on JFK's extramarital affairs, RFK's aggressive tactics, and rumored Mafia ties. He reportedly used these secrets as leverage, ensuring the Kennedys dared not cross him. After JFK's assassination, Hoover subtly leaked damaging stories that eroded the myth of Camelot. Bobby Kennedy, once the most powerful lawman in America, found himself helpless before Hoover's web of surveillance and influence. Trusting Hoover had been a fatal error. The betrayal was slow, quiet, and devastating. Number 6. Lyndon B Johnson, Vice President or Ruthless Rival? Choosing Lyndon B Johnson as running mate in 1960 was a calculated political move to secure Southern votes. Privately, however, JFK and Bobby viewed LBJ as crass and corrupt, someone they barely tolerated. After JFK's death, Johnson moved swiftly to consolidate his own power, pushing Bobby out of influence and systematically dismantling the Kennedy network. Bobby Kennedy suspected LBJ knew more about the circumstances of JFK's death than he admitted, fueling endless speculation and conspiracy theories. Whether guilty or simply opportunistic, Johnson's ruthless betrayal of the Kennedy vision was immediate and total. Number 7. Secret Service failures, a deadly betrayal? On November 22, 1963, in Dallas, the Secret Service failed catastrophically. Open windows, unsecured rooftops, slow reactions, every rule of presidential protection was broken. Agents were reportedly out drinking late the night before. When the shots rang out, the response was sluggish, almost confused. Later investigations found glaring lapses in protocol. Was it incompetence, arrogance, or something darker? Many historians argue that JFK was left tragically exposed by the very men sworn to shield him. It remains one of the most painful and controversial betrayals of the Kennedy era. Number 8. Gloria Swanson and Joe Kennedy Sr., a love story turned financial betrayal. In the late 1920s, Hollywood icon Gloria Swanson embarked on a passionate affair with Joseph P. Kennedy Sr., who managed her finances and career. But their romance soured into betrayal. Kennedy, ever the ruthless businessman, used Swanson's trust and her money to fund his own ventures, reportedly leaving her financially damaged while he built his fortune. Swanson would later reflect bitterly on how deeply she had been manipulated. The story reveals that betrayal was embedded in the Kennedy story long before they became America's royal family. Number 9. Mary Pinchot-Meyer, a deadly secret keeper? Mary Pinchot-Meyer was more than just a friend to JFK, she was his confidant, intellectual companion, and rumored lover. A free-spirited socialite with deep ties to Washington's elite, Meyer reportedly introduced JFK to LSD and shared radical ideas about world peace, challenging the hawkish views of his advisors. After JFK's death, Meyer allegedly intended to reveal explosive secrets about clandestine CIA operations and JFK's evolving vision for diplomacy with the Soviet Union. In October 1964, while out for a morning walk along the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal towpath in Georgetown, she was shot twice at close range. Witnesses heard her scream, but no one saw her kill her. Her private diary, said to contain sensitive information about her relationship with JFK and possible government secrets, mysteriously vanished, reportedly confiscated by CIA officers, including her former brother-in-law Cord Meyer and James Angleton, the CIA's chief of counterintelligence. Though a black artist named Ray Crump Jr. was arrested, there was no physical evidence linking him to the crime, and he was acquitted. To this day, many believe Meyer was silenced because she knew too much and because her revelations could have shattered what was left of the Kennedy myth. Number 10. Bobby Kennedy's dangerous gamble against Castro. In a desperate attempt to topple Fidel Castro, Bobby Kennedy oversaw a series of reckless covert operations, Operation Mongoose among them. He authorized plans involving Mafia figures, CIA hit squads, and Cuban exiles, from poison pens to exploding cigars. But these dirty dealings with criminals had unintended consequences. Some historians argue that the blowback from these operations, especially Mafia rage, set off a chain reaction that eventually led to JFK's assassination. Bobby's idealism had led him to gamble with devils, and the Kennedy dynasty would pay the ultimate price for that betrayal.